For over a year now, Disney's been trying to pretend like everything is just fine with Disney Plus, when the reality is it is a massive problem for them. Not only are they losing hundreds of millions, if not over $1 billion each and every quarter, but now it's impossible to hide from the fact that this thing is failing because they're losing millions of subscribers. In the past 6 months, Disney Plus has lost 6.5 million subscribers, and as a result, they decided they had to pull the plug on a lot of this stuff. They're losing money hand over fist, and they just couldn't take it anymore. So now we got the big announcement that they're removing a ton of content from Disney Plus, including another Lucasfilm failure in Willow. Willow was a series, a sequel to the original movie that came out in the late 80s that had this cult fan base and a very passionate fan base. But of course, Disney and Lucasfilm did what they always do. They destroyed iconic characters. They destroyed the lore and the legacy of anyone involved with it. And Willow was an absolute disgusting failure. The fans despised it, and no one watched it. And now Disney has told us that it's losing money. It is not profitable. But some people had meltdowns over it, namely the writers. They're so upset that their failing show got taken off of Disney Plus. They're mad that Disney didn't want to pay them for something that was losing money for Disney. They didn't want to pay them residuals for something that lost Disney money by being on the platform. John Bickerstaff, they gave us 6 months, not even. This business has become absolutely cruel. Before you say tax write-off, these shows have already been released, so can't be a write-off. And in the case of Willow, they own the property outright. The only conclusion is to get out of paying residuals during a strike. And look, eternal streaming libraries are not sustainable. We're all going to have to adjust to that at some point. But to spend redacted on a show and then disappear 6 months later is just bad business. No, bad business is making shows that are supposed to push an agenda instead of entertain people. That's what's bad business, and that's what Disney's finding out. That's why they're having to cancel so many of these things and take so many of these things down from Disney Plus, because they didn't appeal to an audience. You guys, with your fucking rainbow flag in your bio, decided to make this entire thing a queer love story so that fans of the franchise came in there like, what is this CW tier garbage? This cringe bullshit. Fans hated it, and they made their voices heard. So not only did your show's second season get canceled, but now it's been stripped from Disney Plus after only a few months. But if you thought that John Bickerstaff was done whining, he is absolutely not. He had something to say to Forbes, who wrote an article about Willow. Hey, Forbes, get fucked, says John Bickerstaff. Well, this is the article in question. It's your last chance to see how bad the new Willow Disney Plus series is before it's gone for good. Now, this is from Eric Kane. Me and Eric Kane actually got into it on Twitter probably like 3 years ago, over The Last of Us Part 2 or something like that. Eric, 1000% not on like our side of the culture war or whatever. He calls it as he sees it. Sometimes I vehemently disagree with him. Sometimes I agree with him wholeheartedly, but he has his opinions regardless of whatever anyone else thinks. So I do respect that about him. He despised this show. He was a big fan of the original series, and he hated what they did with it. So he writes this article about it getting taken off Disney Plus, about how it was such a big failure, about how Disney's struggling right now, and they're removing things that aren't worth having on the platform. McCarthy also noted a number of shows and movies would be removed entirely from both Disney Plus and Hulu in order for Disney to write off asset losses in what's known in accounting as impairment charges. In other words, these shows and movies are worth more dead than alive as a tax benefit to Disney. Yes, your show isn't worth keeping on the platform. It's more valuable to them with it gone than it is with it on there. So congratulations, John Bickerstaff and the entire team at Willow. You are catastrophic failures. As a huge fan of the film, I was excited for the Willow show. Warwick Davis was on board. One of my all-time favorite childhood films was getting a sequel. If only it had been made in 2002 instead of 2022. Sure, the CGI wouldn't have been as pretty. It would have been on a streaming service, but it might have actually been decent. It might have actually stuck to themes, aesthetics, and the spirit of the original film instead of being a show about teenage love triangles peppered with modern rock music. Just typing that sentence makes me physically ill and honestly a bit angry. When I heard Willow was being cut from Disney Plus, I thought, quote, this is what you get when you fail at this completely, or when you fail completely at something. When you make political agendas more important than telling a good story, when you utterly ignore who your actual audience is. And he would go on to say, all you had to do was make a good show and you wouldn't be in this situation. That's 100% true. These writers, these activists, these hacks, these freaks, they care way more about pushing their own political agenda into something where it does not belong instead of staying true to that story. They want to make that story represent them instead of honoring what came before, instead of honoring that story and doing right by it. That is one of the biggest problems in the entertainment industry right now. And as we said, John Bickerstaff was not happy about that. He's got some people in the comments cheering him on. How dare someone criticize your show? It was super successful. A lot of people screen capping the portion where he said, hey, this is what happens when you insert your own political ideologies. It's an amazing review. Yep. This isn't a review. This is him talking about this entire thing. What is this slant? This is Crisscross Gal, who clearly is gay or something. What is this slander? It's me. My queer ass is the audience. Can we not have a show that actually feels like it was written for us? I swooned more times than I could count. Well, you can have a show that's written for you. It's just gonna fucking fail. It's gonna fucking be a failure if you put as much money into it as you would like a normal show designed for a large audience. You can have something that's targeted towards you, but you shouldn't expect, one, anyone else to watch it, anyone else to like it, and you shouldn't expect for it to be a success. And Willow was a failure, definitively. Now we have all the evidence in the world that we could want that this was a catastrophic failure. If it makes you feel any better, this person is known for their extraordinarily bad takes. As soon as someone mentions a political agenda, you know what kind of person they are. You want to know the worst part? This isn't even their editorial team. It's from their content farm of contributors. Look at this. Hillary Zwick Turner, she, her, hers. We love the show. My then 8-year-old, who is NB queer into girls, fell so deeply in love with the show and the queer journey, and all the fantasy elements were icing on the cake. They wrote their own Willow-inspired short stories even. We're sad to see it go. This person has to... No, this is real. I thought it was a parody. My fucking 8-year-old, basically you're turning this person into a freak. Okay, got it. I love Eric Kane's response. Eric Kane, very, very simple and very straight to the point. Retweets John Bickerstaff. Write a better show next time. Maybe it won't get canceled. These woke freaks, and that's what they are. They are absolute freaks out there. They can bitch, they can whine, they can complain. Unfortunately, clearly, they are in the minority because nobody watched this show. The ratings were terrible. The reviews were terrible. And at the end of the day, Disney's pulling it from the platform because it's costing them money to keep it up, and no one is watching. That is sad and pathetic, and you love to see these woke people freak out about it when they try to come to the realization that when you make shit like this with an agenda in mind, with a very, very niche audience, it's a good chance no one else is going to be interested. And that is a big problem for all these companies that have decided to sprint headlong into woke identity politics. It will not work. Let me know your thoughts about all this in the comment section below. Smash a like button, subscribe to the channel, ring the bell for notifications, share this video out there, and I'll talk to you later.